Okay. Exciting week. Obviously, we got a very, very good opponent. Got a lot of respect, obviously, for this organization. The head coach, Coach Vrabel, and Coach McDaniels, the offensive coordinator. I think they're very, very well coached. They got some good players to present a lot of challenging schemes offensively, and so we know that we got a big challenge ahead of us. But looking forward to our week of preparation and getting ready for these guys and. Just the competition of the NFL week to week, and so we got another exciting opportunity ahead of us.
All right, we'll go with Darren, followed by David Newton. You're on mute, Darren.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Kia. EJ, when you watch 3 weeks worth of film of Derrick Brown, how does that compare to the 2023 Derrick?
It looks about the same. I mean, just obviously a strong run defender. He's hard to block singled up, and he makes a lot of impact plays in the run game. He's been hitting the quarterback, and so he's really done a really good job up to this point. But like all of us, we know we need to coach better in a lot of instances. We need to play better individually and collectively in a lot of instances, and so we're all looking towards improvement, and I know he is as well.
Dave mentioned that he was the guy who came in Monday and said, here's what we've got to work on. How does he display that kind of leadership over that group in that way?
Yeah, it's really, since I've been here, just going on my third year now, his leadership ability has just continued to grow, and he's become more vocal. He's become more holding his teammates accountable, holding coaches accountable, so I think Derrick is just at the forefront of everything that we want to accomplish. And he recognizes the things that we're doing well and the things that we need to improve at. He's not afraid to challenge those things, and so it's been really, really great to have a leadership quality from those leadership qualities from Derrick.
David Newton.
Yeah, hey Jay, I'm sorry there were no anniversaries of birthdays this week. I was looking forward to that.
No, unfortunately not, but.
I wanted to ask you, what are these young guys that you bring over from special teams, Ransom, and then Scorton plays over there some, and what sort of, is there more energy or more intensified energy from those guys when they come over? I mean, they're trying to prove themselves, I guess, on special teams and get that chance to play defense. What do you see in that energy they bring?
Well, I think Latham, for example, is a classic example of a guy that that's just his style of play. It doesn't really matter if he's on special teams or defense. I think it doesn't matter if he's just walking around the building. That's just his personality. That's just what he brings to the table. He's very bright. He's very energetic. He's vocal. But he also listens well. He's very astute that way. But Latham is just he's full of energy. He plays that way, and so. But I've been so proud of the growth of our young guys. They're just working, and since day one, since they got here, they've just been working. They're all adamant about getting better. They're all coachable. They're putting in the work on the field, off the field, and so and when you have those habits, you'll continue to get better. Yeah, it's been good so far.
What's it like for you to be putting together a defense that is, I think it's like the fourth youngest defense in the league right now? But putting a group that's so young that you'll have for a good bit down the road. I guess were you part of that with the Rams a little bit, where they were building young, and just what is that like, that process, and just how does it make you feel moving forward with a group like that you'll have around for a while?
Yeah, I'm honestly not looking down the road. My vision is right at the moment, and not just the young guys, but all the players. We're just trying to pour into them as much as we can, and trying to make sure that all of these guys are developing and everybody's getting better. And that's our mission right now. It's just improvement in how we prepare and how we play, obviously, and with the hope that as we work through the season, we're playing our best ball in December.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sheena Cook, followed by Cass.
Good morning, Coach. J.C. Horn said that you called a near-perfect game on Sunday. What was the difference, if any, in your preparation and in-game adjustments in Week 3 versus Weeks 1 and 2?
Well, I don't know if the preparation varied much. I think we it's not just me; it's our entire coaching staff, and Dave obviously has a lot of say and input into our vision of the defense. But every week we try to identify what we do well, what the opponent does well, how we can maximize our strengths and try to attack their weaknesses and minimize their strengths. And so that's how we always go about it. There's always a personnel game in terms of if there's certain guys available or not. Finding your mismatches, finding your where you want to allocate your resources, and so we always go about it that same way. And I'm very supported by our staff. We have an excellent staff that gives a lot of input, and they do a great job in their own areas. And we go about it. We try to go about it the same way, and with that consistency. And like our players, like we expect of our players, we hope that in our process we get better week to week.
Hey, EJ, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Sorry, Sheena, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying thank you.
Kind of just speaking of trying to minimize the team strengths, this is a Patriots offense whose number one receiver is a tight end. What kind of challenges does that present to a defense? How do you game plan for an offense like that?
Well, it's no different than if it's you focus in on who the top players are, and you try to say, hey, do we have the ability to cover that guy man to man, or do we need a roll coverage over there? Do we need to do something different to affect them? So that's what we try to do with each week, and the tight end is no different. Just like when we faced Arizona, with the tight end that they have, some of these players that are the best players on the offense, the biggest threat, sometimes they're inside, sometimes they're outside. And even when you have a really good receiver like Mr. Diggs for them, they'll line him up at number one, but they'll line him up at number two and number three, where he ends up really essentially running some of those tight end type of routes. And so we just have to do a good job of identifying the players that they're trying to feature, where the ball is going to probably be going, and making sure that we're on point in terms of our communications when those guys get to those spots.
And then just another thing real quick. I know you haven't had Turk on the field the past couple of weeks, but what has he been doing, like either at practice or in meetings, to just kind of stay involved and help?
Yeah, he's been locked in. He's been in every meeting, and I just really appreciate him because he always sits directly in front of me, but all the way in the back. And we have kind of like a stadium seat and deal, so he's got like a great line to me, and then you look up to him every time. His eyes are on you, or he's engaged. He's writing down stuff. He's got his notebook open. He's watching tape. I'll walk through the locker room, and he's sitting in his locker, and he's watching film on his iPad. And so he's tuned in. He's locked in. He even the last two games when he knew he wasn't playing, he knew exactly everything that was going on with the game plan. And so he's really, really done a good job. And so whenever he's available, we'll be excited to get him back, and we don't expect he'll miss a step.
Does he ever try to throw you off from back there, like make a face, hold up a sign or anything?
No, he's very serious. He is focused and serious.
Sweet. Thanks, EJ.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with Joe Person, Alex Zitlow, and end things off with Mike K.
Derrick Brown's the one that's always trying to throw me off back there.
How does he do that?
He'll make some comments or give me a funny look sometimes.
EJ, several of your guys after the game Sunday shouted you out. How gratifying was it personally to have that kind of performance given last year's struggles and some of the criticism?
Well, I'm happy for our players because, our guys deserved it. They work, and, it hasn't been easy, especially the start of this season, but the guys are persevering, and just the way we approach each day, not worrying about what's being said, not worried about the results, and just with the mindset of how can we get better? How can we attack this next opportunity? And so I was really, really happy for our players, and just to see the joy in that locker room after the game was that's why we do this. And so that was a lot of fun. But at the same rate, though, it doesn't matter anymore. We've moved past that, and we have to prepare for this next opponent because what we did last Sunday against Atlanta, it's not going to help us against the Patriots. So we got to be ready for this opportunity.
It was that about as close as this defense is supposed to look in an ideal setting since you've been here?
Well, yeah, you always hope to play games like that for certain. But a lot of things got to work out your way, and we played, we certainly showed improvement on defense, but like a big part of that game was the special teams and the field position. And so that was, to me, the biggest part, and then obviously our kicker as well. And so I felt like those guys made as big of an imprint in that game as anybody else.
Thanks.
Hey, EJ. There were a couple moments during the Falcons game where you guys moved around Nick Squirton and Princely around. You put Nick on the inside and Princely on the field, but on the left side. What are the advantages of having them both on the field together and having a guy like Nick who can play both the inside at the 4-eye spot, but also on the outside?
Yeah, it's always advantage when you have those guys that have the ability to rush inside and outside. And, with Pat Jones has that ability, Nick Scorton, Turk, obviously, as a bigger body. And so when you have guys that have that versatility, there's definitely makes our lives easier because we can deploy them different ways. We can get different alignments and different lineups out there on the field. And so it's certainly helpful. But at the end of the day, we always go into the game plan. Hey, these are the guys that we think are our best rushers. These are how we think they match up against certain offensive linemen. And we just always try to move them around to see who can get the best matchups on.
Would you say that you use that package more against the Falcons, and considering its success, would you use it some more in the future?
Well, yeah, I don't want to say what we're going to do in the future, but I certainly say that we will always try to get our best guys out there, and we're always looking for creative ways to deploy our pass rush.
Cool.
Hey, EJ. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good.
As a coach, how gratifying is it when you see the defense or maybe a performance start to click? A guy who might have been struggling becomes one of the most important pieces. Just from your perspective, how does that feel as a coach and as a leader and a teacher?
Well, yeah, ultimately, we start from a certain level and we're trying to increase our football acumen and our football intelligence, not just players, but coaches as well. And we're trying to grow as individuals in our skill sets and as a team to hopefully something that is successful and something that has a chance of having a lot of production on the field. And so that's what we're doing. It's certainly gratifying to have those moments when you see a guy struggle with something, then all of a sudden he turns a corner and he's able to make a play with something that he'd struggled with in the past. Yeah, it's always those are good moments, and that's why we do it, because we certainly want to win, but like helping these guys grow, and ultimately, a coach is a teacher, and that's what we want to do. Is we want to help our guys develop and get better day in and day out.
When you guys signed Trevon Merrick, you talked about his kind of Swiss Army knife type of thing, play dime, linebacker, nickel, all that stuff. We saw you guys kind of take advantage of that against Atlanta. What was the thing that stood out to you the most about his performance?
Physicality, effort. This guy is just so physical. You saw there's a couple big blow-ups on the sideline. I'm always amazed by him because he is just the nicest guy in the world, and he will just knock the heck out of you, and then he'll just get up and smile, and it's just like it's almost like a bipolar thing he's got, But I love everything about him. I love his play style, and the physicality and effort that he plays with is really contagious to our defense.